now. Okay, live stream and start.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Happy International Yoga Day today. And as we have already aware that the reason we celebrate International Day of Yoga, which is called, which the way we call it now, as Rashmi just mentioned it, it's we celebrated only on 21st June and not on any other day. This is because this is the longest day of the year, which was and I didn't know this, and I just got we just got the information from Darshana Shah in our previous yoga session, and it was nice to know. And like we sometimes don't give attention. So the sun is more lightning, giving more light to us on Earth. The Earth axis is tilted 23 degrees something. So yeah, so this is the day we celebrate. That is the reason we celebrate Yoga Day on 21st of June every year. Okay, and today, as we have, give me a minute, please, sorry.
We have Deepika from Deega Yoga.
Yeah, so today today we have a wonderful teacher, and she's multi-talented. I have a list of her achievements, and her name is Deepika
Ganesh.
And Deepika Ganesh. Yep. She's the founder of Bhaja Govindam and Deega Yoga. So the purpose of Bhaja Govindam is the strongest urge to give back to community through educating children. And she does teach, have classes or teach children value education, which is very important. And also she teaches mantras to children globally, I would say, because she does it online. And along with being a teacher to kids and adults, she's also a singer, and she's also RJ. Deepika, so many prestigious achievements you have. And also she has won the prestigious IIW She Inspires Award in 2022. Deepika, we are really happy and honored. We are really honored to have you today. And we are really looking forward to discuss the wonderful topic. It is like a rarely heard topic, what we are made of. Like I'm really looking forward to know more about it. And I'm sure all the people who are viewing you are really looking forward and really interested to get enlightened on this topic. So without making more delay, I would like you to take this session from me. I'll hand it over to you. And before you start, can you please tell something more about you, maybe for a minute or so? Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Payal ji, and thank you so much, Rashmi ji, as usual, for giving me this opportunity to share my views on this lovely day, International Yoga Day. Both music and yoga are an integral part of my life. I'm a music teacher. I'm a Carnatic music teacher, as well as a yoga teacher and a therapist. I'm qualified yoga teacher, where I teach people for general health and fitness, as well as provide therapies, one-to-one therapies based on any specific condition, just in case people want to come in for, say, any particular pain, or people who are suffering from depression or insomnia. I give them one-to-one therapies. I also treat cancer patients through therapies and yoga and meditation to heal them through the rehabilitation process. As Payal said, I have been given the award by IIW, the Inspiring Indian Women Award in the Promising Professional category last year. And it just makes me more responsible to whatever I do to the society, to the community. And I feel really honored and humbled to be part of this particular session today. And it's a very interactive session. It's going to be a very interactive session. So I would request all the audience to answer and respond as and when, I pose some questions, etc. We all believe that we are made of just the flesh and blood and the bones and muscles and all the systems in our body. It's just a gross level that we are aware of. But today we are diving deep to find out what are we really made of. And before we start this, we need to know about one of the school of Indian philosophy, which is the Samkhya philosophy, which talks about dualism. Dualism, when I say Samkhya, is a school that talks about reality of all existence. And yoga takes the framework, how to use this to realize the self, to attain liberation. I think for every person who's born, that's the ultimate goal. Right? So to attain the ultimate goal, to realize oneself, what is required is to know oneself, know what we are made of, right? So as I mentioned that Samkhya Yoga basically deals with dualism. Two main things comes to mind. One is Purusha and Prakriti, right? Purusha is the pure consciousness. It is the higher reality you can call the all-knowing, and it doesn't change. Whereas there is one more that is coupled with it called the Prakriti, which is the ever-changing nature. It's everything we see around us, the nature, any objects around you, it's all Prakriti. And it is manifested because of three main things in it. The three things that we call are basically gunas, right? So they are called Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So from Pra arises Sattva Guna, from Kr arises the Rajasic Guna, and the Ti in Prakriti arises the Tamasic Guna. So in the very basic sense, it is just a positive and the negative energy, like the North Pole and the South Pole. At home, we also see two siblings who are of dualistic nature, right? So if you take the Earth, Sun, and the Moon as an example, Earth is Tamas, the Sun is Rajasic, and the Moon is Sattvic. So what are we really going to discuss today? So this composite theory with a three-dimensional personality, it aids in understanding a person. So there is no physical entity without all these. So all of us have these gunas in us. So not a single atom is free from these three dimensions, right? So one cannot exist without the other. They all coexist within each other. And if only one guna dominates, then that's when it arises to a personality. You say that someone is a very short-tempered person. Oh, he or she is an egoistic person. Or he or she is a very kind and benevolent person. So all this arises, these personal attributes arises when a certain guna is uplifted. Now, if you take the motto of inspiring Indian women, lift, rise, and support, right? So we have to lift ourselves from the tamasic guna, support the rajasic guna, and rise in the sattva guna. You know, that's what I feel. And it's a very nice, apt motto of IIW. To understand this particular theory, let me narrate you a interesting, simple story, which you can even share it with children, right? So it's about a mango tree and three friends. Far away in a village, there are dense forests, and these three friends work very hard for their living. And after several hours of walking, they finally reached a spot where they found a mango tree. So the first friend saw some ripe mangoes in the tree, and he also noticed that there were some ripe mangoes on the ground. So he decided, instead of plucking it from the tree, let us eat whatever is present in the ground first. And so he decided and ate them, and he was feeling very, very satisfied. He ate to his heart's content, and he immediately thought, okay, he had a sense of gratitude, because at that time when he felt that he was not going to find anything, he ate this mango, which actually satiated his hunger. And he immediately thought, okay, why not sow some mango seeds? Maybe somebody who will come through this path a few years later would benefit from this. So he immediately took the mango seeds that he just finished eating, and he sowed them. And the second friend arrived, and he spotted the ripe mangoes at the top of a tree. So he kept climbing, and he wanted to reach out to the best one. So he kept climbing. He didn't find it difficult to climb the tree. He felt that, okay, maybe I should also chop these branches and take it back to the village to sell them. So he thought about, what he could get from the tree rather than, giving to the tree. Now he also ate the mangoes, and he in turn chopped some branches for wood to sell it in the village. And the third person came. He plucked some mangoes, and he started eating it, but he kept complaining that, oh, this fruit is so raw. It's not nice. And he tasted the next mango. He thought, oh no, this is very sour. It doesn't taste sweet. He tried different mangoes, but he kept complaining. He always said something negative about everything he ate. And finally, he got so frustrated that he wanted to chop the tree and get rid of it. So he took whatever was nearby and he started striking the trunk until the tree was, going to fall off. If you analyze, there was one mango tree and three friends, three different perspectives towards the tree. We also possess all these three characteristics in different times of our lives. Even in a day-to-day life, we wake up with a sattva guna, feeling very calm. And the people say that it's because of dopamine or whatever you may call it. But it is a sattva guna that keeps you calm, poised in the morning. And that's why you feel like doing something nice, like say some exercise or yoga, or be by yourself to do some meditation. And in the midday, you generally become very active. You do a lot of work. You are engaged in work, and you do things to engage your brain and body. And thirdly, at the end of the day, your body feels so tired after a whole day's work, and you feel absolutely tired. You just want to hit the bed and you want to sleep. So all these three gunas basically need to be in a person for the person to thrive. So it is not fair that we say that there should only be one guna that should exist in a person. We all have this in different proportions. Okay, so how we have to use it? We shouldn't be completely tamasic. We shouldn't be completely rajasic. A rajasic person has a tremendous amount of energy. It depends on how he or she channelizes that energy. So every action we perform can either lead to the process of becoming a sattva person or becoming a totally disastrous person, right? So we need to choose what kind of person we want to be and what kind of guna you need to uplift to, show the sattva guna in you. So to explain this better, I have a presentation to share. If you may allow me to share the presentation, please, Rashmi ji. Yes. So as I said, Purusha is the unchangeable. It's eternal. So that's the pure consciousness we are talking about. And Prakriti constantly keeps changing. And Purusha is a spirit. It's a self or the consciousness. Prakriti, it's without consciousness. So we are all part of the Prakriti. And Purusha is neither the cause or the effect, whereas Prakriti has cause and effect. Now, these are three main gunas that I was talking about: Sattva guna, Rajasic guna, and Tamasic guna, right? Now, if you look at this picture, you see this, a flower, the roots are tamasic because it is completely underground. It is in a restful state. And the stem through which all the process happens, the synthesis happens for the flower to thrive at the top, that is Rajasic. And at the top where the flower beautifully blooms and gives a very pleasant fragrance or a pleasant, color or anything that you see, when you see a flower, you immediately get joy. So the sense of joy, the sense of quietude, it's all reflected because of the sattva guna in the flower. Now, if you look at the candle, this wax is tamasic and the wick is rajasic, which helps the flame to get lit. And sattva guna is the flame, right? So this is a very raw way of, a very easy way of understanding what sattva, rajas, and tamas is. Now, do we have all these gunas? Yes, very much. So if you look at this picture, so if you see the first person, she is exhibiting sattva guna, right? Because she is in a very poised state. She's within a very quiet environment. She's meditating. spending some time praying, she's exhibiting sattva guna. The second picture in the man running, he is on the move. He is continuously moving. So that's rajasic guna. Only if you have rajas, you will be initiated into any physical activity, right? And the third person, if you see she's working, she's at work, her brain is of use. So she is also exhibiting rajasic guna. And the last person, we would generally term these people like couch potatoes, where they don't want to move around, just sit in one place, read a book, or just eat on some wafers and watch TV. That's exhibiting tamasic guna. You should see which of these gunas you exhibit on a day-to-day basis. So now we've understood what these gunas are and what are the different ways of identifying it. Now, these are the attributes that every person will possess. A sattva person, a person who is exhibiting sattva guna more, will be very calm, very peaceful, always joyful, positive. Being positive is a very important aspect in sattva guna. And then comes rajasic guna. Rajasic guna are people who are very passionate, who are very energetic. They're quite anxious also about, they're very result driven, goal oriented. They're always active. And tamasic guna, people who are dull, who are lazy, who are always in a state of inertia, who don't get motivated. And they also have certain traits like being egoistic. They don't listen to anyone advising them, or procrastinating. So even if they have some talent within them, they keep, pushing things for a further date or something. So that is tamasic. So we ourselves can identify which one is more dominant in us. So we know the attributes of the trigunas now. Now I'm going to ask one of you all to identify each guna. So when you look at this monkey here in the first picture, which guna you think it is exhibiting? Payalji or
Rajasic. Rajasic.
Sorry? Rajasic is correct. Yes, because it's always on the move, keeps fidgeting things. Yeah, it's very energetic. And second picture is a sloth. So what do you think of that?
Definitely tamasic.
Yes, it's definitely tamasic, because I think even you can't even see it move. So it's completely in a state of rest. Now, when you look at the cow, what do you think?
Of course, she's sattvic.
Sattvic, absolutely. And you also the gunas that they possess. Now the cow is ever in the giving side, right? It eats grass, but it yields so much, like milk, and the milk becomes of so many other byproducts like your curd and whatever, cottage cheese, everything that you make through that. But the cow is always very poised. It's not wild. See, it by nature, it's not like that. It's more on the giving side. Right. So these kind of gunas are possessed even in animals. So why not we humans can imbibe some sattva guna in us, but keeping the others in moderation. So it's not about completely avoiding a particular guna. So you can't just say that I can't be tamasic. I don't want to avoid being tamasic. You should avoid being tamasic during the day when you're supposed to work, but not very rajasic at night when you're supposed to rest. So moderation and balancing these gunas in us is very important. So I'm just sharing these so you identify each of your guna and see which one is dominant, which one is more active, and how you can balance between these, right? Now, if you look at the next one, well, I'm going to share a video. So you have to look at this, and it's a very I would say it's quite interesting when you look at this video, where it's a Charlie Chaplin video, though quite hilarious. It has a very deep message for us to observe. At the end of the video, I want you all to spot me which character here exhibits Rajas, which character here exhibits Tamas, and which character exhibits Sattvic. Okay. I wanted to share it with the sound, so please, yeah. I'll make it full screen for the viewers to see. And I want the viewers also to participate and message in the group. Thank you. So that's about it I wanted to share. Thank you so much. So any observation from this video, anyone can say that which character you think exhibited tamasic? It's quite obvious.
Yeah, lion.
Lion was tamasic. I think it already had a full meal and it was just resting. It didn't bother to eat him, even though he was so close to her, to the lion. And Rajasic, any guesses?
I think Rajasik was tiger, and definitely Charlie Chaplin, and
Okay.
even the dog. I think it was Rajasik. Was moving a lot, but
Yes.
yeah, when if you just in the context of the video, these three people were Rajasik, and Satvik was the lady because she helped. But for me personally, Charlie Chaplin was Satvik because he was making me
Correct.
feel
No,
happy.
that is the right, I mean, way of looking at it, because Sattvic not only means that you stay quiet, it means like how you deal yourself during adversity, during danger, during fear, during challenges. That's when your Sattva Guna has to rise up, right? So he was so poised, even though he was in the cage with the lion, and he didn't shout when the tiger growled at him. He still kept his calm. If he had shouted, I think it would have been an end story for him then and there. But Charlie Chaplin kept his cool, and you need to have presence of mind when you're in danger, right? But this lady, though she could help, she fainted, right? So she had the ability to help him at that point, but she didn't. Instead, she fainted. She got scared, because at that time you should only think what to do next, right? So I felt in my perspective, it's Charlie Chaplin who exhibited Sattvic Guna, and the dog was very Rajasic. When it's not supposed to bark inside, when he was inside, it was barking continuously. And yes, even the tiger. So overall, if you see, we are also put in these situations on a day-to-day basis, at work, at home, everywhere, So how we bring about the Sattvic Guna in us? I'm just going to continuing to share my presentation, like how you can bring the Sattvic Guna more dominant in you. So like you see, basically it starts all with, at the gross level. What do we eat foods that instigates us to get angry? For example, Rajasic food is basically very spicy. The spice quotient is very high, too much of oily food. So all that kind of instigates your guna also. So the food that we consume has a direct relation to your personality. But also how you balance and moderate. So I wouldn't say that someone who's eating sattvic food never gets angry. I don't say that. But if you want to make some lifestyle change, if you're already eating a lot of spicy food or any other food that instigates anger or a certain emotion in your mind, they say that even onions they don't take during festivals. Why? Because it increases the rajasic quality. And how we can stay physically very clean. I mean, the physical hygiene is very important to maintain sattvic guna. And balancing your schedule on a day-to-day basis, how you balance your work and how you balance your personal life. It shouldn't be like too much of work and not doing anything for at home, or not spending time with family. So we are all working for the family, for them to benefit. So the whole purpose is defeated, like if you're a workaholic and you don't spend time with your family. That is one. And also when it comes to extremities in anything, like if you're working out, so some people are so obsessed of working out. They want to do exercise, they want to lose weight, they want to be on diet, so they're like counting every calorie. But that's not the way, right? So any extreme, we also see recently, we see a lot of middle-aged people, who are physically very fit, who have a disciplined life. They succumb to early death, and they tell that it's because of stress, because of lack of sleep, because of overworking in the gym and all that. All this leads to, though you might find it that it's very satisfying, it's very gratifying that, okay, you look good, you're presentable, and you're able to manage all this. However, when it comes to your body, it just shows up. It gives you a sign. It says, look, you need to stop here. So balancing even your exercises or your physical routine is also very important, which I think people do not practice much these days. And practicing gratitude, staying contented. So that state of contentment should arise in every person, starting from your children. I think you should inculcate, we should inculcate it in our home, making them feel happy about what they have and what they are. So that also gives them in an early life that they are contented, so they won't yearn for anything in their later life. So practicing gratitude, having a gratitude tree like this, so everyone in their family can stick about what they're grateful for that day or that week. They can do it as a weekend practice. Of course, connecting with nature will keep us poised, very calm. So it's like an instant feeling of joy and peace when you go with when you go for nature walks, when you go for nature treks, you go be with nature. It could be in any form. Like you like walking, fine. You like to meditate there, fine. So you should develop something to connect with nature. And at a very early age, children should be encouraged to go to wild, trek a lot, more than going out to malls or to watch buildings or playing with gadgets. They should connect a lot with nature. Of course, yoga and pranayama work wonders to raise the sattvic guna in you. Why? Because it brings about a harmony in your mind, body, and your breath. Your breath has direct impact on the way you deal with any situation in your life. It could be your personality. When I finished my yoga teacher training, it changed my life totally 180 degrees. All the perspective, it brought about a new perspective to life. And so it should not be like you do something, you learn something. There should be a takeaway and you should follow it. So yoga and meditation and pranayama, they are all very, very good in keeping you poised, keeping you calm, and helping you learn about moderation. Moderation is the key, right? So hence, I thought I will share about this particular topic with all of you, which is something not very often touched. And this should be addressed to children even at a very early age. And to end it, I have a questionnaire I have prepared, and I will be asking a few questions. You all of you can definitely, write it down, because I'm going to give you like a multiple choice questions. I'm going to ask you a question and you will be asked to choose whether A, B, or C. So the purpose of this questionnaire is basically for us to find out more about yourself. Which guna are you exhibiting on a day-to-day in general? It's not like you could feel like this most of the time. So that is why I prepared this questionnaire. So if your answer is A, just put A. If your answer is B, just mark B against each question. Totally, there are 10, 11 questions. So I'm going to run through that. Okay, ready?
Yes.
So first thing, when you wake up, you generally feel A, groggy and unmotivated. B, excited and energetic. C, you're in a go mode. So which of these three? I will repeat the question and the options. When you wake up, you generally feel groggy and unmotivated. You feel excited and energetic. And C, go mode. Yeah. Now, the second question, when do you feel more creative in a day? Is it during sunrise or sunset? Option A. Option B, during midday. And C, during the night. When do you feel more creative? Sunrise or sunset? During midday or during the night? Right? Now, third question, how is your general behavior with your family? Okay, how is your general behavior with your family? A, you're very calm and composed. A. B, moody. You get angry quite often. That's B. And C, you're like mostly irritated or dull. It's the last thing you want to be, like when your children come to you, like, okay, go, kind of thing that you don't want to spend time, right? So A is calm and composed, B is like moody, and C is mostly irritated. Now, which color clothing do you prefer wearing? Okay, A is white or light colored clothes. B are mostly red shades of red. Okay, and C is dark colors, maybe like black or dark blue. Which one do you prefer wearing, right? And the fifth one is, how would you rate your memorizing ability? Good, A. B, moderate. C, weak. How would you rate your memorizing ability? Good, moderate, weak. Okay. Now the sixth question, how honest are you? Always honest. A, always honest. B, it depends on the situation. Or C, you lie quite often. Right? And the seventh question, how often do you get angry? Right? How often do you get angry? A, not really. Right? B, sometimes. C, very frequently. So first one is not much. You don't get much angry. B is sometimes. And C is like, you just get angry without any reason. Now, eighth, how easily do you forgive others? A, very easily. B, you need to make an effort to forgive. Or C, you don't forgive. You hold it and you're just waiting for a chance to take revenge. Okay, so these are three options. How easily you forgive your others? Very easily. Need to make an effort, or you want to you're waiting to take a revenge. Yeah. Now 9, how inclined are you towards cleanliness? You always keep your room clean and tidy. I'm not talking about the OCDs here, but in general, how do you want to keep your, how do you like to be clean, to keep your surroundings clean? You always keep your room clean and tidy. Sometimes clean, sometimes out of place. C, room is always shabby. Okay. Now, the last question, 10th one, what kind of music do you prefer? A, very soothing music. B, loud, peppy, and C, sad. Yeah. So now you're going to see most of your answers. If most of your answers are A, so it means that the sattva guna is dominant. If most of your answers are B, then it means you're more on the rajasic side. If most of your C's are the option, then you are probably tamasic at this point. But there is always a chance to uplift and increase the sattva guna in you. So with the physical world, we have food, music, arts, nature, yoga. So when I say with nature, you can also include gardening, which is one of the excellent ways to increase the sattva guna, to be physically dealing with the soil, the plants and all that. Then being with good companionship, positive companionship, we call it satsang. So where people are like-minded, they are all for a particular cause, they discuss things for the betterment of others, being a positive influencer. So these are the things around you, that these are the options that you can include and try to implement in your daily life to improve and increase the sattva guna. So what will happen if sattva guna is dominant? You will be more peaceful. You will be more at peace, very happy. You will be in a joyful state all the time. The universe itself is believed to have been created and to be in the sattva guna only. So it is because of the prakriti that there is that changing nature is always present. So even when we look at it, what we were like 10 years ago, we are not like that now. So we are also ever changing, evolving. We are all a work in progress. But how can we be a better person than we were like yesterday or a month ago? How can we be better at our work, better personally, maybe be a better mother or a better sister or a better daughter, how you can do things at a professional level as well. So if you look at it, we have a very popular example that we are all aware of. Those who are aware of Indian Puranas, from our Puranas, we know the story of Valmiki, who was a dacoit. And he became Valmiki Maharishi, as we all know, who wrote the Ramayana. So he is a typical example of how he was tamasic, a person who was so violent, a person who used to, steal, and literally he was a dacoit. So he would go to an extent of using a knife to kill people, to steal things. So he was like that, so wild. And how he changed, how he evolved to the sattvic guna. Right. So that is a live example we all know. I mean, we have learned from our scriptures, from our Puranas. And we always see people who are in the, who are high achieving, who are always having some success story to share. They must be doing something right. They must be balancing something right to be at the top. So we have to emulate things from them. We have so many gurus, who are propagating yoga. So we learn from them as well. So today's session is just an eye-opener for those who didn't have any idea about Trigunas, who didn't have idea about what they are made of. And so I think they will have something to take away from today's session. So I have completed my content here, Rashmi ji and Payal. So if you have any questions, if you are looking for any further interactions, you may please feel free and probably ask anybody in the audience if they want to ask or share something.
I got 4 A's.
That's wonderful.
What about you, Payal?
I got only 3 A's because I'm on. I think if I was not honest, I would have got 10 A's.
That's wonderful. Very nice. I mean, at least, 1/3 or 1/4 of Sattva Guna is in us, so it's still present,
Yeah.
which we can, definitely make it even.
I was a little confused whether I am cranky when I get up or I am calm. So there.
Yeah, I am not excited. This question was, I was looking for something. I usually wake up and I start gratitude meditation, which I have been practicing. So I don't know what I feel. I don't know if I feel cloggy, cranky. No, definitely I don't feel cranky, but it's not excitement kind of thing. It's like just relaxed and calm.
Yes. This is a good way to get 2 people married. Huh? Find out which tattva.
Ah,
So
So yeah,
Opposite
it's
people.
mostly, it's all almost everything in most of the marriages. I see that it's the opposite that come
Opposite.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with siblings, I've seen two children in the house. They are opposite. So one
Uh,
will be very quiet and the other will be very naughty. So I think even we as creators, we create duality in
yeah.
around
But
us.
strongly say that, it varies time to time. So as sometime initially, some like at my teenage age, I was very angry and very aggressive. And as I grew up, I became calmer and calmer and calmer. So I learned more knowledge.
Probably because of the experience that we have faced in life. The experiences make you a better person. It should. In many people's lives, they take things for granted. So they don't probably appreciate whatever little bit that is happening, a good thing that has happened to them. So they are mostly left with regrets or bitter memories. So that has to be let go. That is why holding on itself is a tamasic quality. You should let go. We should learn to let go, learn to forgive, and try and give. We should not be only on the receiving end, or we should also take it and give. That is a rajasic quality, give and take. Like how I
Mm.
told you about the story where that man, he took mangoes, but he also chopped branches to sell. So he has that very calculative, they're very manipulative. So basically, so these things are important, but we should see that not one alone should dominate over the other. If you only sattva is dominating, we will not even be here. We would have realized ourselves and we would have
Yeah,
been in a totally different state, right? So it is impossible for anyone to just be at the sattva quality, but we can bring sattva quality in situations in our daily lives. And as I said, when we are stressed, how can we deal with that? How can we combat stress or fear or anxiety in a more poised manner, in a more balanced way? So that, for that, yoga will help, pranayama will help. These breathing exercises, the moment you look at your breath. So I want to share a fun fact today, being Yoga International Yoga Day. I don't know how many of you all know that. Payal ji might be knowing because you also practice yoga. It is a fact that we don't engage both our nostril at the same time to breathe. We breathe only through one nostril at a time effectively. The other nostril is not as effective. We breathe only through 25% or 20% there. It is because only at the time of, we call the Brahma Muhurt, which is 3:30 to 5:30 a.m. in the morning, your both nostrils are active. Otherwise, it works 90 minutes once. But when you practice pranayama and consciously breathe through both nostrils, engage both, so the vital capacity of the lungs is improved and your stamina, even to handle day-to-day things, is increased. So the moment you concentrate on your breath, the mind gets relaxed. We talk about the autonomous nervous system is completely relaxed, and it comes to a state of balance and equilibrium when you focus on your breathing. So, which many people do not know. And the first thing when it comes to anxiety or fear, you should observe your breath. It's very fast. Your heart beats harder. Or for some people, they get nauseatic when they hear some shocking news or when they hear something scary. So this is all because of the rapid breathing that's happening. But you should bring about a poise and calm in yourself to deal with it. If there is an emergency, you should see how you can deal and go past it, how I can face it without, causing much damage to myself and to others around me. So that is when sattva guna arises. So that will come only when you do some breathing, some pranayama, some meditation, or some time towards yourself. Right. So I just thought I'll share this with you guys. And thank you so much for asking me to speak on this topic. I hope you also have some takeaway from today's session. Yeah, Rashmi ji,
Lots,
what are your views?
lots to take away. When a person is not let moving on, when the person is always thinking of revenge and not able to get over it and thinking how to give back and all, actually the person harm themselves, right? More the
True. It's like, nailing yourself, putting your
yeah.
yeah. So it's not going to serve them good in the long run.
Mm,
It's going to affect their
mm,
health. See, when we did your cancer therapy, we also teach them affirmations. But
Mm.
there is this lovely book by Lewis Hay which talks about what are the reasons for certain ailments. It's not the physical level. For
Mm.
example, I would say varicose veins. Many people are suffering with that. One is for physical strain because you're standing for long hours or you're causing some strain in your legs. That's what causes. But when I read about it, it talks about you holding on to certain thoughts, you holding on to certain memories of the past. You are not willing to give away your rigid authority. Some people who have rigidity see, they want to do certain things in a certain way. They're not flexible. Rigidity causes varicose veins. I was surprised to see that when I discussed about this with my client, she agreed. She said, yes, I'm rigid. I want things to be done in a certain way, else I feel that, it's not right. So
Mm.
anything that we do, it should either be helpful to ourselves or harmful. If it's harmful, don't do it. If it's helpful, do it. So if you feel that being Rajasic is helpful, please do it. But if it being too much of even though I want to be active, I want to be on the move, I have to be Rajasic, should not be your aim. It should just evolve. But if that is causing harm to you, I'm working for 5 hours, 6 hours, 18 hours a day. We recently read about a surgeon who lost his life, who has done like 16,000 surgeries, heart surgeon, but he didn't survive. He himself succumbed to heart attack and passed away at a very early age. That was because he hardly had any sleep. So his Rajasic was so much dominant that he wanted to work, and not rest. So that ultimately led to his death, which is very sad. So we need to understand moderation in whatever we do. So that is the takeaway for me, about when I understood about the 3 gunas. So it should not be like either or any of this, nothing should dominate. They should all be balanced. That's the takeaway that I had when I learned about Trigunas, and hence I'm sharing that with you all, and to all those who are watching it today. I hope they would benefit from this.
So people who are perfectionist will have tough time, right? Perfectionist people, they want it their way. Perfectionist.
Correct. Perfectionist people are reacting in a certain way because they always seek validation, because they're probably criticized a lot. They are not being accepted for what they are. That is why they are perfect. They want to prove that they are good. Look, I'm doing it fine. Look, I'm fine. So they are those who are the most criticized.
Yeah.
That is why they want to be perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
Because they seek validation all the time.
Payal, that was so nice and interesting. So young and so much knowledge, isn't it?
That's indeed amazing.
We have a saying, Rashmi ji, in Tamil. We say, "Kattrathu kaiman alavu, kalladhathu ulagalavu," which means what we know is just a fistful, and what we don't know is as vast as the universe. So
wow.
That's it. There is so much to know and learn.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow, I'm like, I think I don't even know one finger of the knowledge of what you are explaining, I'm just like.
That's just kind of you. See, you're just being very sattvic and being very kind and, being humble here, very modest, despite so much of achievements.
No, I didn't say it I didn't say it so that you appreciate me, please. Okay, Payal, with this, we come to an end of our International Day of Yoga sessions. That's so sad, actually. We have been going on since last 1 week and a countdown, and we met so many individuals who were having these vast resources to share about yoga, health, wellness, and various traits required to lead a blissful and healthy life. It has been an amazing journey with Payal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would suggest you that it is not ending. We are starting.
Yeah. We are starting.
Here, and we at least give ourselves 10 minutes every day for yoga or for pranayama or for evaluating Rajasic or Tamasic or Sattvic gunas and working towards it and become a more beautiful person day by day, because we already are beautiful.
Yes.
So very well said, Payalji. Having time for yourself is very important. Only then we can work on ourselves, right?
So
Thank
thank you.
you, Rashmiji, as well for
Yes. Payal, 2 lines about yourself, quick.
Well, okay. My name is Payal Thakur. I am based in Hounslow. I run yoga studio, which is called Aham Yoga Home. I have other teachers also with me. They are very well qualified and talented, and we try to bring different types of yoga on the mat. And we do teach online, offline, and we do conduct free meditation as well. So I am conducting free meditations on Thursdays because it's not for people who know meditation. It's actually for people who don't know how to close their eyes, because everybody thinks that, oh, I can't close my eyes and I don't know how to do meditation. So I have some techniques which are very funny, just to bring them on the meditation mode. And once they know how to do meditation, then they can go on with the YouTube. There are various teachers. So that's all about me. And my yoga studio's name is Aham Yoga Home, because I have found my home in yoga. So I thought maybe everybody can implement yoga for 10 minutes at least in a day, and they can come closer to themselves and find home within. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, Deepika, what about you? Where are you based and how do people connect with you, contact you?
Yes, Rashmiji, as I already said, I provide therapies and I also do yoga classes. I'm based in Buckinghamshire and Aylesbury, and I run regular classes during weekends. And during weekdays, I do one-to-one therapies. I help people to deal with diabetes through yoga. I also help those with suffering from cancer through the rehabilitation process. They come and tell me some wonderful feedback about how they feel very calm and relaxed, because they're already going through so much. And those with joint pains, any physical pain, they come to me with a physical pain, but actually there is something more deep. Okay, so the physical pain is just a symptom of a deeper issue. So there was this lady who asked me, she asked me for therapy for her back pain, where she had a slip disc bulge. And later, after a few sessions, she told me that she actually was in a weight loss program, but in turn, she was gaining weight. So I told her like how she should calm down and not be very, as I said, rajasic to lose weight. But she later realized that she needs to slow down a bit, and yoga really helped her. And she said that there was a huge gap in her menstrual cycle, and then it regularized after the sessions that she had with me. So those things are very assuring about what I do. I feel very satisfied, and I share the things that I know, so which they feel that's like an eye opener for them. Even about themselves, they don't know about certain things. So it could be a normal thing about awareness of their own body, how rigid their knees or their joints are, how I bring awareness to them through yoga. And I also am qualified in chakra healing. So people with deeper issues, psychology issues. As I said, when people come to me with this physical issue, it is a deeper problem. So it is not just the knee pain. It is not just hypertension. It's not just varicose veins. It's something deeper. So I help them deal with it through meditation, through healing, mindfulness, and yoga. Yes. So this has, I'm doing parallelly both yoga and music. So it's like a dual personality in me. And that is really helping me also to cope with my professional and personal life. So I'm very thankful and grateful to for have learned yoga for myself. So first of all, I've helped myself. As Payalji rightly said, it helps you to look inwards. It helps in self-introspection, swadhyay, which is one of the very key niyamas in the Ashtanga Yoga. Swadhyay is to self-introspect. So what you think, what are your beliefs, what are your perceptions, that you have to introspect yourself than somebody else coming and telling you. So I don't have to tell you that, Rashmiji, you are this, you are that. You can look for yourself. So that is the beauty of that entire program that I did. And I help people through that. I help people introspect themselves. So I'm very happy with what I am doing. I feel it's more fulfilling, very rewarding, because I'm helping them at a very deeper level. not only solving their physical issue, not doing a physiotherapist's work, but I'm also trying to mentally resolve things that will make their health and body more harmonious, more peaceful. Yeah. So thank you so much again, Rashmiji. You've always been encouraging about whatever I do, and you always support me. And thanks for giving this opportunity on this particular day, because I really wanted to do something online, though I have been taking classes through the day. Every day is a yoga day for us, right, Payalji? So no day is skipped without doing yoga. For me, every day is a music day, every day is a yoga day. So today is added like a celebration for being a yoga teacher. It feels very special.
Thank you so much, Payal. Thanks a lot.
Thanks to you as well for giving me the platform.
Lovely
Thanks.
knowing you, Payal. Oh, blessed is inspiring Indian women to be connecting so many beautiful souls. Thank you once again. Thank you, Ila and Utkarsha, for being here till the end. Thank you, everybody. Take care. This is Inspiring Indian Women signing off. And if you have anything to do, if you have any talent, do come back and let us know. And we will be taking you on our platform. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Rashmiji.